All right, so on January 22nd, 2019, 13 members of the AMMO task force in Atlanta, 11 who were APD officers, met near Middleton Road to carry out an arrest warrant on 21-year-old Jimmy Atchison. During TFO Song Kim's briefing of Mr. Atkinson's background, he described Jimmy as having a violent criminal history, resisting arrest, fighting with the police during previous arrests, and that Jimmy Atkinson may be armed as they began to approach him. The team descended on an apartment where the mother of Jimmy Atkinson's child lived. And according to the report, when they arrived, the entry team knocked on the door, announced their presence, and forced their way in. When they saw Mr. Jimmy Atkinson jump from a third-story window and ran to another apartment in the same community. It is also reported that he fled that apartment as well as the police chased him to another building also in the same community. The police ended up setting up a perimeter around that building. A young lady told the police that he was hiding in her apartment. The task force entered the apartment. Officer Song Kim, was the first to notice that Jimmy was hiding in a back bedroom closet, partially covered with clothes over him. He told the other cops, and they all entered the bedroom. Once Kim gave Jimmy commands to raise his hand and come out of the closet. And as Jimmy raised his hand, TFO Kim fired one round striking Jimmy in the left side of his face. Despite attempts to saving his life, he ended up dying on the scene. My guest today is Jimmy Hill, the father of the young man that's in this story, Jimmy Atkinson. Jimmy and I know each other we've known each other for a long time. We go back a long way, and it's hard. I'm sorry that we have to meet again under these circumstances, but I am happy to be able to share my platform with you and to get this story out a little bit, to get your story out, because I see you on social media fighting and every day and everything that you are sharing with the world. And so I'm sad that we are having to meet under these circumstances, but I'm glad to know that being able to use this platform.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Let's kind of start, if you will. Let's kind of start from the beginning. So let's talk about why the search warrant was issued. Do you know? So there was a claim that he armed robbed somebody, right?
That's right. Yes.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Okay. The search warrant was supposed to be for my son. From Kelly Brogan, the young lady claimed my son, she had got robbed a couple of days before this incident. And what happened was, and she got upset with my son Jimmy because she felt like he should tell her something about the guys.
So she knew Jimmy.
She had met Jimmy through a friend of hers. This is a friend of hers, Lynn McFashion. That's the young lady who came forward.
Okay.
And stated that there was no gun and there was no armed robbery.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that later as well too. So the young lady who said that he robbed her, they knew each other through another friend.
Through
is what
another
you're saying?
friend, yes, a friend of hers, yes, a very close friend of hers.
Okay, and so did she shout out to tell the police? Did she go to the police and say this is who did it, or did they come to her with a lineup or something, or how did they
She
hone
waited
in?
4 days later. What happened when she came back? My son asked you. No, she asked my son, can he will he help us sell some pants? So my son asked her. He's going to give me his phone, the music phone, and he walked off. She gave him the code to her phone.
Okay.
And he used the phone and he walked out. He never came back. So she waited 4 days later because she was already upset about the previous situation with the son. As a matter of fact, when the guys took her clothes the first time, and they threw a pocketbook on top of the building, my son was the one that went up on top of the building and recovered her pocketbook for her. And so she waited 4 days later, and she went and she took out a warrant saying my son robbed her, robbed her.
Oh, okay. So she was mad because he kept her phone.
He kept her phone. Yeah, they used her phone.
And she went to service to get a search warrant. I mean, to get a warrant on him because she was saying that he robbed her.
4 days later, after this.
And this was so they went looking for him for a cell phone.
They went looking for a cell phone. They came to his grandmother's house, Atchison Elizabeth Atchison, that's his grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And but they were saying it was for something else, but they were looking for him for us. They came. Woke Cynthia Atchison, that's his mother who's passed away
Yeah.
from a broken heart.
We
dealing
gotta
with
talk
this
about that as
situation.
well. I read that when you stated that on
Yeah,
social
so
media.
they brought her out. They were very aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
6 o'clock in the morning looking for him. At his grandmother's house, they were very aggressive, very nasty. And they
Mm-hmm.
brought her outside, made her come outside, search the house.
Mm.
But they were saying they didn't say nothing about an armed robbery. They were saying it was for something else, like a misdemeanor.
So okay. All right. Because I didn't even realize that they knew each other. I didn't realize that it was just over a cell phone. And then what makes the police have a whole search warrant where they have a whole team going in to get somebody for a search warrant? That sounds like overkill to me is what I was going to say. That is just
Well, let me tell you something. Well, a lot of police, because they laziness and they carelessness
Mm-hmm.
and they sloppiness, they refuse to properly investigate the warrant.
So you think that have you heard anything as far as it goes regarding the original crime itself? Like, have you heard that there was an investigation and that he did have a phone and it was just over a phone? Have you heard anything else as far as that goes?
Yes, because a witness came forward. I mean, the girl's friend, Lynn Atchison,
Okay.
and she said she and
I saw that.
video of her, and you can see her crying. You can see in her face what she said. She was interviewed a number of times, and when she said, "I wish I would have never brought her around."
So okay, so the young lady who said he robbed her was a friend of Lynn McFashion.
Was a very close friend of her.
Okay, and a friend of knew your son through Lynn
Well,
McFashion.
she knew my son through Lynn.
Okay, and so this girl said that he robbed her, and then the police got involved. They didn't. So you're saying that they didn't do a proper investigation before all of this transpired?
No, because after you hear in the video, you hear Lynn speak over and over about how they interviewed her at a house.
Mm-hmm.
How many times she had to go to the police station, and she told him that there was no gun, there was no armed robbery. She let him use her phone, he walked off.
Have you seen the actual report that she did the young for the young lady who actually said that he robbed her? Have you seen the report?
I've seen the report.
And she said he had a gun and everything.
Yeah, the lady said he had a gun and he had a gun. He robbed her.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, she waited 4 days.
4 days later. Who does
And
that?
said, yeah.
If that's the case.
And you can see the video, like you can see Lynn crying, and she crying because she said, I know Jimmy was scared. I know he was scared. And after they interviewed her over and over and over again, it's like Atlanta police.